Hey guys, Victoria, and I'm back with another episode of Black Art History. Okay, let's hop into this video. So when we landed in Dublin, we went right to this amazing Airbnb in Clontarf, and we're headed directly to Dublin Castle. Dublin Castle was first built in 1204 as a medieval fortress, and then from then on became the permanent residence of the Viceroy of Ireland until Ireland gained independence in 1922. In 1684, there was a major fire which caused significant damage to the building, but some parts of the medieval original construction still remain. The castle has housed many important guests, including Benjamin Franklin, Queen Victoria, Charles Dickens, JFK, Nelson Mandela, and the current Queen Elizabeth II. Then we headed off to the Trinity College. So this is just the main square. Trinity College was founded in 1592 by Queen Elizabeth I, and there is a Book of Kells exhibition. It goes through the production process from vellum and ink, and then I headed upstairs to the Trinity Old Library. The library was just so picturesque and beautiful. The Burnett Harp is dating back either the 14th or 15th century, and it's the oldest surviving Gaelic harp. It is Ireland's coat of arms and the Guinness Stout. Finally got a chance to see the Book of Kells. Unfortunately, it was a replica when I went to go visit, but it's really significant because it captures the four Gospels of the New Testament. It's dating back to about 800 AD. And then we headed off to the National Gallery to take a look at some works there. National Gallery was founded in 1854, and the works inside date from the 14th to the 20th century. On the outside, the gallery looked really small. As we got in, it was super spacious, combining both salon-style exhibitions and very modern rooms inside as well. Let's go. We then went out just to do a little shopping on a Sunday afternoon. And a trip to Ireland wouldn't be complete without visiting pubs. So we actually went to the famous Temple Bar pub, which was built in 1840, and they always have live Irish music. The highlight of the trip was Mary Gibbons' tour of the Burnett site.
There's no singing, no dancing, no shopping, no nothing. Just history and archaeology. If that's your thing, this is your tour.
In 1993, the Burnett site was officially declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and they have a beautiful visitor center. You can see this dog. They actually found the remains of early canines, and that's how they know that they existed in this area. And it really gives you a great overview of what you're going to see. So at the Burnett site, there's 3 well-known passage tombs. So this one is actually a replica of the most well-known tomb, Newgrange. You can't take photos inside, so this replica really gives you a good idea of what happens when you do walk in. It was really narrow when I walked in, really low to the ground. So the Newgrange dates back to about 3200 BC, and at the front is a decorated entrance stone. So you can see the rocks are entirely slated. There's no mortar or anything. It's just excellent craftsmanship. And then from the 19th to the 23rd of December is the winter solstice, and for 17 minutes exactly, that little sliver of light comes through and goes all the way to the back tomb. So there's 3 tombs inside Newgrange. So after being at the visitor center, we took these little microbuses over to go see Newgrange itself. So along the outside, there's an intricate pattern of rocks that come from all over the area. Some of the rocks coming from very far away. Only about 10 people are allowed inside at a time, so we kind of stood outside. So it started off just really windy, wet, and then it just began to downpour. It just seems to be a reality of going to visit these sites. I already went through this when I went to Stonehenge, so I was just not taken off guard. So I just had my umbrella and just was eager to be soaked as I looked at this beautiful Neolithic site. So I went around the corner there, just kind of did a walk around the area while I waited for the first group to go in. There's some sheep outside there. It's just beautiful, picturesque. We then headed to the next passage 2, which was Knowth. So Knowth is actually bigger than Newgrange, even though Newgrange is more well known. Knowth is dating back to 2300 BC and is one large passage tomb, or these mounds, and many little mounds around it. At Knowth, about 30% of the megalithic art in Europe is located. So along these mounds, you see these large stones, which we don't know how long or where those come from. So actually in Knowth, we're able to go down inside and just take a peek. So these are the passages. So they go very far deep inside the mound, and at the center is another burial chamber, but you can't enter because it's very narrow, and actually at the furthest inside part, you have to be on your belly to enter. So that's why some of the initial artifacts are still there. Newgrange was absolutely incredible. So was Knowth. I loved visiting the Burnett site. I actually enjoyed it more than Stonehenge, and I would highly recommend it to anyone visiting or going to Dublin. Thanks, guys.